no racing. Anyway,
Channel.
Yeah.
He didn't let me finish.
Sorry for the crappy videoing, but
Just telling the truth. Someone don't know how to charge a GoPro battery.
and I don't have any heat in my garage, so we kind of are doing it in the trailer. Whatever. Anyway, so the end of the season, we ended up second in points and got a hard charger award. Was it hard? Most improved with Dave Lester, which is one of our good buddies that we race with. So he deserved that, I feel, more than we did, because he struggled some last year and struggled a little bit at the beginning of the year and then done awesome. Like, literally most improved beyond what we were.
Absolutely.
And we're super glad to share that award with him, so to say. I believe we will be racing in Mountain View next year. I know the class is staying, but not sure on what other classes are going to stay, because they're talking about combining Thunder and B Hobby.
Yeah.
And I guess possibly going cruiser rules, which is some horribly expensive cars. And like Casey Cash, dude's awesome, great guy, killer car. I think he's got a cruiser style car. It's not the traditional B Hobby or Thunder car. It is so close to a clip late model with open wheel tires on it that you could probably build. So they're allowing quick changes, I believe, and Falcons and Burks and that kind of thing at other tracks. I don't know if Mountain View 100% is going to do it yet or not. I'm kind of excited to see the rule package for everybody. Probably be, I hope, Christmas or January.
Yeah. Give everybody some time to get there, get the rules and get their car in line. Hopefully, I know last year they didn't release the rules till late January, and that kind of put us in a pickle as well, because we wasn't sure what body rules to run last year. So hopefully they will have it before Christmas, so we can get a head start. Us and other racers can get a head start on what we got to do for this year.
And it was kind of split rules. It was 21 and 22 rules this year, but we gravitated as hard to 22 rules with deck height and body as we could, so we didn't have a whole lot to do for the 23 season. So hopefully dirt car or whatever won't change our rules any farther than what they are now. And kind of anxious on tires. We've got some tires behind us, but there's 3 new ones out of all of those, and most of those have 4 or 5 races on them. The last race of the year, we put a 9-race-old set of rear tires on it and just ground the crap out of them to try to get us by, which they stuck. I mean, stuck very well. So I don't know how the tire situation is going to go. I've put in a message to try to get a couple of sets for this coming year, but who knows how that's going to go. What else we got to talk about? What else we need to talk about? Oh, let's talk about some sponsors. So half of my sponsors, or a little more, have stayed. We've got RPM Customs that's came on board. Rick helped us out a whole lot this year. We've got Integrity Septic and Drain back. Love those guys to death. They helped us out a tremendous amount this season, and they're going to help us out tremendously for this next season. Combs Tree Service is back. Cheroux Diecast out of Texas. Those guys are back.
I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, super good dude. If you got any diecast stuff that you like, or any autographed, I think they got mini helmets. He can get any diecast car you want. Truck series stuff, late model sprint cars. He can get anything you want. Hit him up. He's super reasonably priced. Has a lot of sales. Does free shipping here and there. I think they developed that business during COVID and kind of stuck with it. and they provided the die cast for us this year, which we only done 5 or 6 of those. Um, he's here. J2, of course, they'll be doing our wrap again. Um, Suttle's Dirt, yep, Suttle's Dirt Works. Jamie's been with me since the beginning. He was my first sponsor. Uh, can't thank him enough. Then we got Central Tennessee Machine Works. That's my buddy Chris. He's doing my block for my new engine. He bought my radiator for me after we took that big hit towards the end of the year. He's helped us out a bunch. Um, I'm kind of taking it upon myself to throw PPM on the back for Randy for doing such a killer job on our shocks. He's a big part of the reason why we done so good this year. Need to hit him up for some shocks because he will go an extra mile to help you, and he's done that with several guys. A lot of late model guys use him. Quite a few open wheel guys have started using him this year, so I'm going to give him some thanks by throwing him on the whole quarter. Got a couple that I don't know that are coming back or not. I haven't spoke with them. I'll know towards the middle of January who's staying and who's new, but those are who we've got set in stone with us so far. And then I've got a handful of guys that don't want to be mentioned, but have basically just handed me money and told me they're glad to help and they want to see us succeed. And I can't thank those guys enough. We're building a new engine this year. I posted that on our Facebook. It's half built, or half bought, I should say. Rotating assembly will be here middle of January. All the rest of the parts, most of the rest of the parts have been ordered. My valve train and cam and stuff, I'm kind of tossing back between 2 companies on who to order from. I'll figure that out in the next couple of weeks and get that stuff coming. We're going to rebody the car because we basically destroyed everything but a piece of decking and the roof. And changing up the colors just a hair. It'll still look a lot like it does now, but we're just swapping a few things. What else? Okay, one other thing that I can think of. Bulls Gap has announced that they're running open wheels, $1,000 weekly, which is it's big money considering the series that run around here pay $1,200 or $1,500. So we may, depending on how things go the first of the year at Mountain View, we might dive for the points again. Just depending on how things work out. If it's not looking good for us the first part of the year, we may venture up there, go to Wartburg whenever they have the Cumberland Series, hit I-75. I'd like to hit Crossville a handful of times because I really like that track. I'd like to go to Boyd's. Smoky Mountain, my dad wants us to go there real bad since they're shortening it. So as long as we can get our motor straightened out and in, we will go to Smoky Mountain. I'm not for sure if we'll have the motor in the first part of the season. We may still be with our little bullet here for a month into the season. I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to see what happens because I really need to go through my rear end on my car. It's making more metal than it should. So we'll see there. Got a lot to do in a short amount of time. Got a couple of racers we race with. Want to do a little work to the rear of their cars right around Christmas time because I'm not really even going to start messing with mine until the 1st of January. I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks, and then of course got all the holiday stuff and just got a bunch going on. So it's probably going to be January before I even get to pull the car apart. What else? Trying to think. We made notes. I don't have the notes.
Throughout the year, a couple of people have asked us, what we've done and uh, what they recommend that they do, and um, they ask us all the time, like, what do we mainly focus on in our car to, maintain how well it runs and everything else. And I think it's a big thing that Kyle done when he first started racing is he put the money where he needed to be. Um, you can't make a car run without fuel and ignition. Bought top of the line stuff on all that, and gonna do it again with this new motor because it's gonna play out real well. Um, a lot of the things that got us through the year and kept us going, and knock on wood, hopefully follows into next year. Crap on you, man. Hopefully it'll follow into next year was weekly maintenance. That was a big deal. I mean, made sure the pull bar was tight because, man, me working at PPM, I've had like 6-7 guys come in there. They broke pull bars week after week, and then some have broke it once a month, and I've had a guy break 2 of them this year.
J bar.
Yeah, and bending J bars like crazy, and it is racing, but it's also maintenance, and I know that and it's a big factor because we run the same stuff that everybody else does, and we ain't had the first issue. Like I said, knock on wood. I think that's a big help that's got us through the year was just regular maintenance, and had 3-4 guys throw drive shafts because they just don't grease their U joints because they think non-greasable U joints are the way to go, and that is not the case.
They are strong, but to me, a non-greasable U joint has its place, and it's not in dirt track racing. Drag racing, yeah. Rock crawling, yeah. Dirt track racing, no. Every race, my U joints take 4 to 6 pumps of grease after every single race. Period. Whether I've run in the back slow as crap, or I've run in the front, or in the middle, or anywhere in between. I've even ran hot laps and qualified and didn't even make it two laps in the feature and got took out, and it still took 6 pumps of grease. It all depends on how hooked up the car is, and it will liquefy that stuff and throw it out. So I hate seeing people tear their cars up, and a lot of people, it slips their mind. It's not that they don't care or that it's not part of their weekly deal, but it needs to be high on the priority of just grease. If you don't grease anything else, grease a U-joint, period, because I hate seeing the ends of transmissions get tore off. You could get hit in the hip by a drive shaft if you don't have a good enough loop. There's all kinds of stuff that are a consequence of skipping something that takes. It takes longer to go get the grease gun and put it up usually than it does to grease it, because most of the time you've got it on jack stands anyway. So that's a big thing. There are, like Hunter said, there's quite a few places I didn't spare $1 on. I bought the best you can buy. There are places that I bought some decent parts because that's what I could afford. I won't buy cheap anything. If there's an A, B, and a C, I buy A, and if I can't get it right then, I'll buy something that's a B grade, but I will not buy cheap stuff. This year we're going to upgrade brakes. I've went all year.
2 years.
Okay, yeah, sorry. 2 years on a set of parts store pads that were $30 for front and rear. And $20 calipers from the parts store. Towards the end of the year, when I got a little more aggressive, I eat the rear pads basically off of it, but I'm going to upgrade my calipers and my pads this year because this engine's going to need a little more braking than what this 604 needed. Fortunately with it, I wasn't on the brakes a lot because it wouldn't hardly get out of the corner. So once I got out of the corner, it was time to hit the brakes and turn again. So they've done me real well. The last race, the brakes did start hanging about the last 4 laps, so I had a caliper on its way out. Uh, what else? Safety equipment. People have to quit buying $200 motorcycle helmets and wearing them racing. I see that constantly. That's the dumbest thing that you can possibly do. And not wearing gloves, yeah, you can feel the car a lot better without gloves. But I'll tell you this: if your fingers are melted off, there ain't a whole lot you can do. If you buy a cheaper suit, that's fine. I wear a mid level suit, which it's wore out now, but I wear a mid level suit. I wear the best gloves and the best shoes. There's not a lot you can do with your toes burn off. There's not a lot you can do with your fingers burn off. But if you get burns on your arms or your legs, for the most part, you probably will still be able to function every day. Same thing with a helmet. If something comes through the front of that car or in the side of that car and hits a plastic junk motorcycle helmet, you're probably gone. So don't skip out on a helmet. At least buy one that's $500 and wear it 2 or 3 seasons and sell it. Don't buy a $200 helmet. That's horrible. And I'm glad they cracked down on gloves. I mean, I know I just said that, but that's the stupidest thing. People cuss in the track because they get told to leave because they don't have gloves. Like, how dumb is that? Anyway, what we got going on next?
And another big thing that has, I think it's, even though along with him learning how to drive versus last year to this year, because I mean he was in his second year, um, along with learning the car, learning what it does, what adjustments make what, I think that those all are second to none to when it comes to mindset. Um, Last year, I mean, we didn't have the mindset we needed. I mean, of course, it's our first year. We was scatterbrained trying to figure out what was what.
Nervous?
Yeah, because I mean, his first year in the car, it.
Yeah, I was nervous to not tear people's stuff up. It wasn't nervous to be in the car because I could make it go around in circles, but I didn't want to destroy somebody's car no matter how careful we were because we had no idea what we were doing.
But mindset, it's a big factor, like huge. Uh, Last year was a very, I mean, it was a fun year, fun first year. Did a lot of great things, had a bunch of fun, but we hit this year, and stats show it. Stats show it no matter what. I don't care who says it. Don't.
Yep.
We hit this year with a very big, different mindset than we had last year. Had goals in place, had things we wanted to take care of, had things we wanted, went after, got. Um,
Yeah, and don't set unobtainable goals. Like, don't say, oh, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to win 5 races this year. This is what I'm doing. No, we went out and had a goal of finishing in the top 10 and staying there. Well, we did that for a little while. Our next goal was to stay in the top 5. Well, we did that, and that was where we stayed the rest of the year. But even when we went to Crossville and won, our mindset wasn't to go over there and win. Our mindset was to stay in the top 5. And we started out after a lap or two, 3rd or 4th, and just things played out for us. I didn't exactly win it how I wanted to win it. I would have liked to have earned it a little harder, but that falls back to the maintenance thing. Cars fell apart. Some of them, I mean, parts break. It's just part of it. A couple lost motors. Guy broke an axle. I mean, it's just parts failures. It really wasn't anything on their part, but we didn't go over there and say we're going to win. The last race this year, I said I would like to finish second because I was right behind Robbie. I think it was when I qualified on the pole.
you qualified on the pole, and then he got around you about 2 laps, and then y'all just second all night long.
Stayed right on top of each other, and then my stupid butt come out of 4 and hit that little spot on the bottom and looped it around and finished 8th and was like 20 foot from the finish line, like the dumbest thing I think anybody could ever do.
On the last lap.
On the last lap.
But he ain't done it since.
Yeah. So, I was like, man, I'd love to finish second. I mean, I didn't even say first. I said, oh, I'd like to win it, but I'd love to finish second. And I knew Robbie was on it, and I knew I was on it, and I got my second. That's the only spot. I literally have finished in every other spot from first, third to 16th, and wasn't no problem. But I could not get that second, so that was our goal. I mean, everybody has a goal of winning. No, we just wanted to have a second. But mindset, like he said, you can't go to the track mad. You can't get mad at the track. Uh, well, I'm saying while you're at the track, you can't get mad. If something doesn't go your way, it just didn't go your way. Don't let it beat you down, because if something goes wrong in hot laps, it will screw your qualifying up. If you screw up in qualifying and get mad at yourself, you're screwed on the feature. Like you might as well just ride around in the back or stay at the trailer. Uh, if somebody comes up and cusses you out because they're mad over something, just laugh at them and go about your business. Don't let it drag you down. Don't let your team get drugged down. If you fight with your old lady, Sasha, I'm not talking about you. Uh, if you fight with your old lady, if you fight with your mom, if you get in a fight with your brother, if you get fight with Hunter here because he's over there staring at a bunch of girls and not putting air in the tires, or he's eating and not paying attention, Anyway.
More of the other, call me out, I guess. Because that's what this is.
But the mindset thing, it's the truth. Like, if you are in a bad mindset, that's the end of it. Like, and whatever you got going on at work or going on at home, you better leave it at the gate on your way in and pick it back up and fuss at whoever on the way back out. Because if you are in an ill mood, or I'm never going to qualify good, my hot laps are going to suck. Yeah, they both will, and it's your fault. It ain't nobody else's fault. It's your fault. And if this dude's having a bad day, you better stay at the house, because
I get told to get out of there and go home. What happens,
Because
no matter how much you help, you know what I'm saying?
You feed off of people. Yeah, you know what I mean. But that's probably the biggest thing. And if you park at the track, don't park around people that drag you down. Don't park around people that don't tell you good job whenever you come off the track. Don't park beside people that are full of themselves and think they're better than you. Just find somewhere else to park.
We've seen, even though it's only been 2 years since we've been doing this, there is some of the drivers that I've seen, and I've even had the opportunity to talk to with my work. They have let people that park beside them, or they've let other people intimidate them, and it's messed them up. They don't drive worth crap. They can't do they don't try as hard as they want to, and that as they should. And I've seen guys that have changed their mindset and they've drove to the front, wholeheartedly, and guys that are questionable, that I've seen it in every class. They're out there and then they're just putting around because they don't think they can compete. Well, once they get away from what is letting them think that they ain't good enough, once they get away from that, they're a top 10, even top 5 contender.
Yep.
And it's a big thing, and that's what we've talked about, And I've had veteran drivers tell me that your racing is half the battle is on the track, yeah, but the other part of the battle is in your pit. Your moral support and even the crew around you is what does it. If you from a crew chief standpoint, if you dog your driver, you might as well get ready to finish outside the top 10 every night.
Yeah. Because
he's going to go out there and not think he can do anything, and then he's going to be not caring, and he ain't going to be able to tell you what the car's doing. And, that's where, as me as a crew chief, I've learned from last year to this year the difference. Last year I dogged him as a friend. I took it as a friend standpoint. Like I was like, man, you can drive better. Put your foot down. Get up there. And after
Some advice from a good person that's been
yes,
around it for a while
yes,
told you were an idiot.
yeah, and like that's another thing. Like you know, could we have done better last year on my part? Oh yeah, I could have learned more. I could have done more, but I think I'm okay with what happened last year because it made me better for this year. I didn't. I took it in stride instead of
Yeah, learned what not to do.
yeah, instead of not knowing what not to do, like, and it just affecting everything. So, a good crew and a good friendship and good moral support is the key to racing. And if any driver says they can do it by themselves, they either aren't competing or they're lying because you can't do this racing thing by yourself.
No,
Ain't no way possible.
no, and don't pull up at a track or you be at your track and one of these big name traveling guys come through and you say, well, that's it. I'm done. We're going to finish in the back or he's going to win it. Well, I had another driver that I look up to a lot tell me that there's no way that guy should come to my track and beat me because my times have been faster than his on multiple occasions. But I got it in my head of I can't beat this dude, and he can be beat. A lot of the local guys have beat a few of these traveling guys that come through here, and there's probably been half the races this year that I was faster by 6, 7, 8 tenths than he was on his best night, and my mind stopped me from getting anywhere. So that like stressing about your mindset cannot be pushed enough.
It's a prime example. Like, I mean, we've learned a lot this year, and at the beginning of this season, there were 2 or 3 guys when they showed up. We was like, well, guess we're battling for the spot behind all them. And then, I mean, we did. We finished behind them, farther back in the pack.
Didn't qualify good.
No. And then the last of this year, a couple of them guys came to Mountain View weekend after weekend.
And I walked all over.
Yeah, but we had the mindset of it didn't matter who showed up. We was gonna put on our show, and they could battle with us or behind us
at our house.
Yeah,
like
just plain and simple. And that is that's the mindset you have to have, regardless if Nick Hoffman comes down here. When he comes in,
he's coming to our house.
He better hope he has a plastic quarter because it's gonna get beat off all night. And if it don't happen, we gave it our best shot. He just outdrove us, and that's about it. But don't think for a second it's going to be a cakewalk. And that's just the mindset that has changed with us. Like, I can't express that enough. Like, everybody's always asked, like, what is the best thing that y'all have done? Because, I mean, and not to sugarcoat it, a couple of people are dumbfounded how well we have done in the last 2 years. Have progressed.
And it's mostly here.
Very. That is the biggest upgrade anywhere that we have done from last year to this year was our mindsets.
And my car from last year to this year, nothing's changed. I changed the steering box because mine was bent. It would turn 1 turn to the left and 2 turns to the right. So I have changed the steering box, I have changed some springs, and I have changed some shocks. But most of everything that's been different is us. Like, I've politely asked people to quit aggravating me. I've, like some of my family and crews kind of stepped away from us at certain times to not distract us. Sasha's run in and helped a bunch so Hunter can watch some other things, and she's took a lot of notes for me and paid attention, and she's gotten a good routine, so she's helped us a bunch. And I mean, it's just it's all in morale, like, period. I mean, this coming year, only thing we're changing is an engine. putting a body on it. I mean, I'm going to do a little maintenance to the rear end, but as far as changing anything else, nothing's getting changed. So we'll start off the year new again, trying to learn an engine. And my goal next year is to win one. I mean, that's what I want to do is win one race. I'm not going to try to be cocky and say I'm going to win 10 races and I'm going to win the points. No, I just want to win one freaking race. I don't care if it's in Crossville, at Mountain View, at Boyd's, at Smoky Mountain. I don't care.
Be in your mama's backyard, as long as there's two cars, we're racing.
I mean, even if we heat race, which I love that heat race format.
That's pretty cool.
I had to touch on that. That was awesome. I'd like to win a heat race. Like, I mean, a win's a win, whether it's 8 cars or 14 cars or 26 cars. So that's
or in our case, 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, yeah.
It's the end of the season. I can morale bust a little
That was
bit.
Crossville. Start out with a dozen and end with 3. So that's my goal next year. Is we're going to learn this engine and learn this car again, because a lot's going to change, and continue to progress. I would like to move from the top 5 every week to being in the top 3 every week and staying there. I mean, that's my goal. I win one, finish in the top 3 every week. Like, that's just where I want to be. I feel we deserve to be there. I mean, I don't know what else to say on it, really. I would like for Bassett to call me and ship me a shipment of wheels, because I'm going, if next year's like this year, I'm going to need about a dozen. So, what else? Sold a dually. We're looking for a toter. I'm looking for something like a 6500 Chevrolet, like a 97, 98 model with a cat in it. Would even look at like a FL70 with a cat or a Cummins in it. Just something along those lines. I can't afford no $100,000 toter, but just trying to make the family and everybody a little more comfortable. The dually done great, but there's no point in having it. I've got another truck that I've had for years, and that truck was nice and I enjoyed it, and I felt like I worked for it, but it's gone. Carvana come and picked it up out of all the places. So it's toter time. I'd like to find me one by February. Yeah, as Rodney Griffin said, I'm just gonna shovel it. Just, you know. Rodney. No, the bank just lets stupid people have money. That's the thing.
And I'm surprised that I'm not a millionaire off that.
So, anyway, I guess this will wrap us up tonight. If y'all have anything you want us to talk about, touch on, try to find out for you, anything you'd like to see us do this coming year, anything you suggest, want us to do more of, not do, we'll take any kind of criticism. And I don't know, we'll have a video out this coming weekend, because I'll shoot it before we go on vacation, and then I may have a very short video come out the weekend after, from somewhere in the ocean. I think I got Wi-Fi, so I think I can send a video out. And the following weekend, we will be a few days late. So we're going to do kind of this stuff until our engine parts come in. It'll probably be the 1st of January before we have any videos in the shop, because we've got some cleaning to do, and he's got some stuff to do to his personal vehicles, and I think that'll do us. Appreciate y'all as always, and we'll see you next week.